Welcome to the daily market outlook. We are about to check the charts and see what the market is offering us today. To start off, let's talk about the DXY. So, with the DXY starting with the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what price is respecting what these lows to our left, and from that low we've seen it move to the upside, heading for these highs. Currently, I believe we could see this high go on the DXY. So jumping straight off to the 4 hour, what we can see is that what price has what come for this lows, whilst this is what respecting the high to the left. So we've had a breakout structure at this point. We've seen what price respect this low and move to the highs. I believe we can see what the DXY reach this high. Currently we've seen a breakout structure, we can see it move to the downside. So I'll be looking for an inducement, then a move to the upside. So my direction for the DXY today is bullish. Heading on to gold, starting off with the weekly time frame, what we can see is that we are respecting the zone to our left, and when we jump on the daily time frame, what we can see is that that zone has what caused price to what move to the upside, and we can see that what we are respecting this zone, which has also caused price to move to the upside. So on the 4 hour, what we can see is that this move to the upside had trapped what sellers and induced buyers, and we've seen what price moves to the downside. Currently we can see that what we have taken out this low to the left. So with this low gone, we can see that what people were what selling price action. These people are what early sellers. So we want to, what I'm looking for is what a trap of what these early sellers inducing buyers, and then I can look for what the shorts back to the lows. But gold can be what very risky. It can be very quick, let me say quick to react, and can sell off from this point. As you can see, we are what building what liquidity at these lows. We're building liquidity at these lows. So gold can what choose to what sell off from here. As you can see, I have what my alert waiting if price ever chooses to make that decision. So on EURUSD, with the DXY being bullish, I expect EURUSD, GBPUSD, and AUDUSD to have what some form of what bullish nature. So on the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what we are expecting the zone to our left, which has what caused price to what sell off and what take out the significant low, and we are expecting what this low what also to the left. So with that low, we can see that what price has what been buying what to the upside. We respected the zone, induced sellers, and we what seen this move to the upside. Currently we are expecting this high to the left, which is also what's causing price to move to the downside. So with our direction with the DXY, I said I'm what bearish. So with EURUSD, GBPUSD, AUDUSD, all be what bullish. So I'm also what expecting very similar price action with the DXY, an inducement of buyers. Then I look for what shorts back to this low. On GBPUSD, starting off with the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what price is what respecting this liquidity to the left after what trapping what these sellers, and from that liquidity point we've seen what price what sell off to the lows, respect this zone to our left, which caused price to move to the upside, trap some sellers, induce buyers, and we've what seen the sell off back to this liquidity. Currently with this inducement, we can see that what currently with this inducement we can see that buyers were induced and would like to see the sell off. But with buyers being induced, we can see sellers in price action. So price has currently moved to the upside and taken out those sellers at the moment, and I believe we have induced buyers and we can see what price go down back to our lows. But for immediate price action, I believe we can see what GBPUSD move back to this lows. Currently we are at this level of what support, which I believe is going to cause price to what move to the upside, hopefully giving us what our inducement to short back to the lows. So GBPUSD, I'm looking for price action to the downside, with AUDUSD starting off with the weekly time frame. We can see that we are expecting this high and we are expecting price what to come back to this low. When we move to the daily time frame, we can see that price has what taken out this weekly high. If you hop on the weekly time frame, we can see that what is the weekly high and we've what taken it out. On the daily, we can see that we are expecting this high also to the left, and when we move to the 4 hour, we can see that it has caused price to what move to the downside and trap these buyers, and we are expecting what these lows, or let me say our targets, to the left. So what I'm expecting price to do is what give me an inducement of buyers, then a build up, then I look for what my shorts back to what these lows. Currently all I'm seeing is a breakout structure, so I need more price action to determine when I'll enter the trade. So AUDUSD is a very beautiful trade. So on USDCAD, on the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what you are expecting this lows to our left, which has caused price to what move to the upside and trap these buyers currently. Sorry, and trap these sellers. So from there, I would like to see what sells back to the lows. These sales can take some time, probably 6 months, a year, or maybe 2 years at most. But that's the direction for the higher time frame. But for today's price action, we can see that after we took out this high, we are what respecting this zone to the left, which we this zone, which is a demand zone, which we expect it towards cause price towards move to the upside, or let me say induce buyers before we see what the sell-off in line with our direction. Currently we can see that once we mitigated the zone, it caused price to what move to the upside and cause a breakout structure. So on the 1 hour time frame, what we can see is that price has caused this breakout structure, and that's all I can see. I don't know whether price is what going to come for these lows, but I believe with the direction of the DXY, we should what expect bullish price action. But this is not the best trade to be in, and I believe this highs could go because of the direction, but it's not the best trade to be in. With USDJPY starting off with the weekly time frame, what we can see is that what we have stabbed out this high. When we move to the daily, we can see that what we have trapped some buyers to our left, and from there we saw what price move to the upside. So once price moves to the upside, it respected the zone to our left, and we're seeing what this sell-off causing us a breakout structure. From there we can see that what price mitigated this price action, and we've seen what this sell-off, which has what trapped buyers once again. We can see that what with the trap of buyers, we saw it what move to the upside, and we are expecting this highs to our left, and we can see that what price is what selling off at the moment. We have these lows, which are targets, as well as what this high, but like what the DXY is providing us, we want to see what buys to the upside. But for higher time frame price actions, like on the daily, I'm expecting these highs to go on USDJPY. So that will be all for today's daily market outlook. Catch you next week. Peace.